A young Chinese couple moved to the US with their baby, and for 4 years, they were struggling to make ends meet. So, when the woman found out she was pregnant again, she was really upset. Another child? Even one is too much. Just then, her husband burst in and said he'd found an investor for his business. Oh, honey, our luck is about to turn. And it did. Within a few months, the man's business was booming. They moved to a lovely house where they welcomed their second child, who was me. Hi, my name is Gia, which means extraordinary. Before I continue, please like and subscribe. My parents could spend hours gazing at me. They thought I was perfection itself, and they gave me everything. I literally grew up with a silver spoon in my mouth. All was perfect, except for one problem. My older sister, Fen, she was weird. All she did was glare at me, or pinch me awake at night and make some strange faces at me. But this one time, she put me in a pram and pushed me down our sloping driveway. As my pram rolled straight onto the main road, Mom came running out of nowhere and stopped it, just in time. On my first birthday, my parents threw a huge party for the entire neighborhood. As everyone gathered around the table, Fen suddenly jumped onto it. I've never had a birthday party. I've never even had a cake. Why does she get everything? Is that girl your daughter? You never mentioned any other kid than Gia. Fen screamed, and then she went all Godzilla on my cake. She was banned from the party, and my parents arranged for another cake within minutes. As I got older, I started realizing that my parents were really unfair to Fen. When I was 5, I got all the presents I wanted for Christmas, but she looked really mad at hers. Why would you give me these ugly socks? And a geography book? What's wrong with the book? If you opened one sometimes, your grades would be better. Why are you guys always like this with me, and never with Gia? Because Gia is perfect. She's just easier to love. I felt terrible as Fen's eyes welled up, and she stormed off. She wouldn't even join us for the Christmas party, so I took food up to her room. Hey, Fen, I brought you all your favorite. She viciously slapped the plate out of my hand. Don't even bother, witch. Nothing you could ever do would make me hate you less. Well, turns out I could give her a reason to hate me more. The next day, I was flipping through Gia's geography book when Mom said, "Oh, honey, you won't understand that. You're too little." Yes, I do, Mom. And I just learned the names of all 50 states. Want to hear them? I rattled off the entire list, and everyone stared at me. You little genius! You just keep amazing me. This has to be some kind of world record, right? My parents called every newspaper in town to come interview their wonder kid. And I was suddenly famous. Mom and Dad were showing me off everywhere. But even worse, they enrolled me in a fancy private school. Not the public one where Fen was. As I was going in our limo on my first day, we drove past Fen walking to her school, and I felt sad. Why can't she go to my school, Mom? Because she's dumb, sweetheart, and your school is so expensive. Why should we waste money on her? You're the one with the big, bright future, so you're worth it. Fen and I just kept growing further apart. Once in 5th grade, my parents were helping me prepare for the National Spelling Bee when Fen walked in and we gasped. She dyed her hair bright pink and was wearing the most amazing makeup. But my parents went bonkers. What did you do to your hair? It was the one nice thing you inherited from me. And I never put on makeup till I was a married woman. Everyone here wears makeup, Mom, and people tell me I'm really good at it. Maybe I could be a makeup artist one day. Wow, we came all the way from China and struggled to give you an education so you can be some clown artist? Why can't you be more like Gia? You're an embarrassment to me and all our ancestors. She left angrily. Guys, you need to stop this. She hates me because of you. Oh, baby, who cares what she thinks? I care. I went after Fen and told her she looked beautiful. I expected her to be mean as always, but she kind of smiled at me. Thanks, kiddo. You've always been nicer to me than the rest of them. Was I hearing some kind words from Fen? In this rare moment, I asked her if she'd like to come see me at the spelling bee, and she said yes. I was nervous at the event because it was being shown on TV, but I aced all the rounds and I won. Just then, I heard Fen screaming, "She's a cheater! She won by cheating!" She was shouting that my parents had been helping me by spelling out the words. My parents were furious, but when the camera footage was pulled out, we saw that they were mouthing the words, but I wasn't looking at them. I spelled the words myself. but the judges disqualified me immediately. The minute we got outside, I attacked Fen. "Why do you hate me? What did I ever do to you? You were born, and you took everything I deserved." My parents pulled us apart and told Fen she was grounded for eternity. Totally worth it. "Fen, we can't go on like this. We're sisters. Wouldn't you rather have a fresh start instead of hating me forever?" "No, I'd rather hate you forever. It's just easier to hate you." As she stormed off, I decided I was done with her, and we hardly ever spoke after that. In the 8th grade, Dad announced one day that a friend's daughter, Sophia, would be coming from France to stay with us for some months. When she walked into our house, we were all awestruck by her beauty and style. She could also speak 5 languages and was a math wizard. "Wow, you're the perfect friend for Gia. You're like the big sister we wish she had." Even though Sophia was 3 years older, we had a lot in common, and we got close. One day, we heard some voices from Fen's room, and we peeked inside. She was in front of her phone recording a makeup tutorial for TikTok. The minute she spotted us, she looked mad. "Why are you jerks spying on me? Buzz off, and don't breathe a word of this to Mom and Dad, or else." We immediately checked out Fen's TikTok account, and to our shock, she had 1 million subscribers. She was really talented. Later at dinner, Fen came downstairs with a new hairstyle, and Mom just couldn't control herself. "Is this what you do all day? Playing with your hair? What's going to become of you?" "Oh, I don't think you need to worry, Mrs. Chang. Fen is practically a TikTok star." "What on earth is a TikTok star?" And then Sophia showed them Fen's account on her phone. I could just see Dad turning purple. "I'm supposed to tell my relatives in China that my daughter is some internet idiot? We've been way too easygoing with you, Fen, and that was a mistake." He stormed off to her room, took Fen's phone, and flung it at the wall. Then he broke the tripod in half. "What are you doing?" "Are you crazy, Dad? Stop it!" Fen burst into angry tears and ran out of the house. When my parents stormed off, I turned to Sophia. "Why did you do that?" I didn't know they'd react this way. I was only trying to help poor Fen because they're always putting her down. I thought they'd be proud of her." Well, Sophia had no idea how crazy our parents really were. She tried apologizing, but Fen wouldn't even open the door for her. Weeks passed, and I was busy studying with Sophia for an important exam. The day before the exam, though, my parents had to go out of town. "We'll be back tomorrow morning, darling. Good luck." The next morning when I woke up, it was super late. I'd set the alarm for 7, and now it was 11. The exam was over by now. My parents would be devastated. I ran downstairs when suddenly I stopped short. Fen was sitting in the living room with our parents and a very elegant woman. "Your daughter has a supermodel's face, and people already love her. We want to collaborate with our makeup brand." When my parents saw the check she handed, their eyes almost popped out. As Fen signed the deal and the woman left, I saw something extraordinary. My parents started hugging Fen. "Oh, darling, I had no idea you were so talented." I was still super upset about my exam, and I burst in. "Mom? Dad? I missed my exam and—" "What exam?" "Oh, for that high school? Who cares? Didn't you just hear Fen's amazing news? Come, darling, let's go for a fancy brunch." What the freaking fish just happened? And suddenly, I was living Fen's life. My parents couldn't stop showing her off, and I was invisible. One day, they told me Fen would be using the limo, and I could take the bus to school. It's time you learned to be a grown-up anyway. One day, we weren't here, and you just slept through your exam. So irresponsible. Wow, who were these people? Sophia was my only ally here now. Mom and Dad threw a huge party to celebrate Fen's first modeling campaign. In the middle of it, the owner of the makeup brand burst in, and she marched up furiously to Fen. "You stupid girl, how dare you post something like this about my brand? What are you talking about? This!" It was a post on Fen's Instagram with some makeup and the caption, "These products are tested on rabbits who are kept in terrible conditions. Boycott this cruel brand." Fen protested that she'd never posted this, but the woman wouldn't listen and threatened to sue her. As she stormed off, Fen suddenly pounced on me. "You did this, didn't you?" You couldn't stand that I was getting the limelight for once. Get off me, you psycho! It wasn't me! My parents tried to calm Fen down, while they shouted at me for ruining her career and grounded me. This was crazy. Later that night, I was going down to the kitchen when I heard Sophia's voice from Fen's room. You just turned 18, and you can leave these terrible people. Gia hates you, and your parents were awful to you before you became famous and rich. Forget them and come with me to France. You'll be even bigger there. And then suddenly, it all clicked. It was Sophia creating all this chaos. Sophia, it's you! You made me miss my exam, and you posted that on Fen's Instagram. Sophia suddenly looked really evil. Yeah, I did all that, but can't you see? I've only exposed the truth about your greedy parents. They've always treated Fen like dirt, till they thought she was worth something, and now they're treating you the same way. Well, you can stay here, Gia, and maybe you'll be their favorite daughter again. But Fen is going with me, because I actually love her, and I'll treat her like a queen. Fen and I were both stunned. Sophia, you're crazy. You almost ruined my career to make me go with you? I don't love you, and I'm not going anywhere with you. Sophia started screaming and throwing things around like a complete psycho. Our parents came running in at the noise, and when we told them everything she'd done, they sent her packing to France on the earliest flight. But the whole fiasco was a wake-up call for me and Fen. Sophia might be crazy, but she was completely right about our parents. Mom, Dad, you can't treat us like we only deserve your love if we're worth something. And you never let us have a normal relationship. This has to stop. I'm not even waiting for you to change anymore. I'm moving out. Gia, would you like to come with me? And maybe we could have a fresh start. I instantly said yes, and no matter how much our parents begged, we decided it was best for us to move away from them. Maybe we'd forgive them one day, but it was too soon for that.